The wait for Season 3 is killing us, but hopefully this list will tide you over. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 5 Stranger Things Season 3 crazy fan theories that might be true.
You were right. This whole time you were right.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're taking a look at predictions for the 3rd season of Stranger Things that just might come to fruition. If you haven't seen the first 2 seasons yet, consider this your spoiler warning.
Well, you were right about these pumpkins. Some nasty stuff. And the smell. Gee, mother of God.
So what exactly do you think is going on?
Well, I told you what I think. But we'll run the tests and we'll see what comes up.
Number 5. Steve will become Hopper's deputy. When we first meet Steve Harrington, he comes off as a one-dimensional jerk with an awesome head of hair. Unlike most of the bullies you see in 80s movies, Steve eventually turns over a new leaf, helping Nancy and Jonathan fight off the Demogorgon. Steve breaks out his spiked bat once again in Season 2, defending his little friends and the rest of Hawkins against an army of monsters.
You still have that bat?
Bat? What bat?
The one with the nails.
Since Steve has matured into a responsible, brave, and all-around badass, he might want to consider a career in law enforcement. By becoming Sheriff Hopper's deputy, he'd not only make Hawkins a safer place, but also help keep the town's dark secrets under wraps. Number 4. Bob met Pennywise as a kid. While they never got to live out their dream of directing an It adaptation, the Duffer Brothers still might have carved out a place for themselves in Stephen King's multiverse. There have been several references to King's novels in Stranger Things, the most notable of which comes from Joyce's boyfriend, Bob.
I spin around, and there he is, Mr. Baldo. Hey, kiddo, would you like a balloon?
Not only did Bob grow up in Maine, a recurring setting in King's work, but he also had nightmares about a clown named Mr. Baldo as a child, enticing young Bob with balloons.
Well, I fell asleep, and just like always, Mr. Baldo came to me.
He finally thwarted the creepy clown by telling him to go away. Sounds an awful lot like Pennywise, right? This theory might be a stretch, but even the Duffers are open to it. Number 3. The Upside Down is a future Hawkins. The Upside Down remains a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma, deep fried in a puzzle. Since the show is littered with Dungeons and Dragons references, like the Mind Flayer,
It's a monster from an unknown dimension. It's so ancient that it doesn't even know its true home.
it's been speculated that the Upside Down is a realm known as the Underdark. An even more likely theory suggests that this alternate dimension is actually a future version of Hawkins. If this is indeed the case, how did Hawkins turn into a foggy, uninhabitable wasteland? Nuclear war? A monster invasion? For that matter, is there any way to prevent this horrible future? Well, if time travel enters the mix, count on seeing a few Terminator and Back to the Future references.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
Number 2. Papa is still alive. Just as superheroes rarely stay buried, the same can be said about supervillains like Martin Brenner, also known as Papa. Acting as a primary antagonist in Season 1, this scientist kept Eleven locked up at Hawkins National Laboratory for much of her life. Brenner seemingly met his end via the Demogorgon, only appearing in flashbacks and visions throughout Season 2. Given the ambiguous nature of his presumed death, though, Brenner may be waiting for the right moment to stage a comeback.
All this time, and you haven't looked for me. Why? Because you thought I was dead? Or because you were afraid of what you might find?
Matt Duffer has already hinted at Brenner's return, but we'll have to wait and see.
Don't focus on them. Stay in here, like before.
Yes, Papa.
Number 1. Eleven created the Upside Down. In some of the world's greatest legends, the hero, ironically, creates their greatest enemy. We already know that Eleven opened a portal to the Upside Down, unleashing the Demogorgon. Where exactly did this twisted dimension come from, however?